always. Live at 1.
A very good afternoon, and thank you so much for keeping it NBS Television always. Welcome to NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. The National Social Security Fund has told Parliament's Kosase Committee that the vendor of the controversial Temangalo land, businessman Amos Nzei, has failed to provide suitable replacement land for this disputed Temangalo property nearly 2 decades after the agreement. NSSF says the land currently being offered is occupied by squatters and does not meet the agreed conditions for an encumbrance-free replacement. Now, take a moment to listen in to the developments in Parliament's committee sessions.
Now, to your recollection, please assist us with a breakdown. How did this 270-something billion arise?
No, it's actually here. It's telling you we have a stock of assets we hold in Kenya, for example.
Is it in Kenya or you are using it as an example?
No, actually we invested in Kenya and Tanzania.
Okay.
And they have their own currencies. So what happens is at the end of each year you have got a valuation because your currencies are not trading at parity. And the accounting rules require that you reflect that in your books. But the asset is still there. We didn't sell the asset at all. It's still there.
Okay.
I don't know that. Aha. Yeah, I'm going to
I wanted them to finish
sure
this responses. Then it tackles the first
okay.
issue.
So does that provide enough explanation?
I want you, what you do, you answer all these questions.
Right.
Then quickly respond to also the first issue within the OT report, which covers those investments.
Okay.
So that the next round it covers both.
So now, investment associates on which you raise, that's on page, I think, note 23, if I recall.
No, I wanted you to answer it in this way. First respond to the audit query itself.
Yes.
Then go to the detailed response.
Okay. The audit query.
But that's in case the questions that you have answered all. It was one. Okay, what you do? Proceed and respond to the first issue.
Okay.
Within the audit report.
The first issue on the report was basically that we did not have terms of reference for people we send to our investing companies to represent the fund. What are their responsibilities? What should they do? And took a while to go because the rules are a bit different. For example,
these particular proceedings are continuing on NBS Live. Go ahead and download that from mobile. Follow the proceedings there. Now, still on matters, Parliament, members of Parliament on the Committee on Fiscal Infrastructure, led by Chairperson Honorable Mwine Mpaka, held a meeting at Kajansi Tollgate, where officials, following an impromptu inspection of the facility to assess its operations and service delivery. These were the proceedings.
What prompts the investigations?
This is a Parliamentary Committee on Fiscal Infrastructure. We are looking for facts. We are aware we have a developer who constructed the Entebbe Express at a certain cost, and Ministry of Works contracted a private contractor to collect this money on our behalf, and they are supposed to pay him a tune of about 125 billion within a period of 5 years for his service to maintain and collect this money on our behalf. Now the challenge we have, we believe this same company that is being given 125 billion for its service for 5 years has been given the leeway or the authorization to again collect on our behalf and deposit. So we don't know how religious the company may be to deposit all the money it collects daily to this account. So we are here to do a pre-investigation. We have come to collect data. We want to establish the number of vehicles as per their camera systems that have 6 years. And we have managed to retrieve the information. We have also come to retrieve the amount of money they have been banking daily. We're also going to go to the bank where they've been backing and get certified statements regarding the deposits. Then we can inform Parliament, because everything we're doing on behalf of Parliament. Whether this, even before we go to whether this deal was worth it, we need to establish even the little money. Have we received it? The money people are paying here daily, is this money helping us pay for this road? So we're here to get information, which will facilitate our investigation, which will start Monday and hopefully be concluded by end of next week, and represent to the floor of Parliament our findings. A committee of Parliament has the powers of a High Court. We have the power to compel someone to produce documents. This private company signed with the government of Uganda a contract, and we are paying this private company 125 billion, a period of 5 years. So really, if we ask for information, you are now collecting money on our behalf and depositing on our behalf. So we want to know, if we ask for that information and you fail to give it to us, at times we will have to enforce our powers as stated in Rule 218 of our Rules of Procedure, and this is what we have done. Fortunately enough, we have got all the information we need.
Details of that will be coming up in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, state-appointed lawyers Julius Serwambara, Sarah Arwere have made their first court appearance to represent Kiza Besigye, Obed Lutale and Dennis Ola. The lawyers informed court that only Ola accepted their representation. However, Ola clarified that he accepted on condition they work alongside his privately retained lawyers. Besigye and Obed declined the state-appointed legal team. Besigye told court that although the lawyers had submitted their CVs, none had handled the case of the nature he is facing. He also referred to a pending case before Justice Chinobe challenging state-appointed legal representation, saying he and his co-accused hope court will first await the ruling expected later in August. Ola reiterated that the state-appointed lawyers would only represent him alongside his personal legal team. Violence, delayed voting and allegations of electoral interference marred LC1 elections in western Uganda. In Mbarara City, polls were cancelled in 5 cells after clashes and claims of political intimidation, while in Tungamo, security fired warning shots following disputes over alleged voter ferrying. Despite the incidents, voting continued in most polling stations under tight security.
Electoral authorities called off LC1 elections in 5 cells across Mbarara City after violence, chaos and alleged interference by senior political leaders, including members of parliament and city councillors. While voting was generally peaceful in many areas, the exercise started late, with some polling stations opening after 11 a.m. Of the city's 186 villages, 51 LC1 chairpersons were unopposed, leaving voters to elect only the 6 executive committee members.
22 being from north and 29 from south. But still, these ones were required to convene meetings and elect their committee, executive committees, which they have successfully done.
The situation, however, deteriorated in Karugangama cell in Mbarara City South, where rival political camps clashed at the polling station. Several voters were reportedly injured as the confrontation escalated, forcing security personnel to fire tear gas and live rounds in the air to restore order. Mbarara City Returning Officer Violet Atura accused several high-profile politicians of illegally influencing polling stations, intimidating voters, and attempting to influence the election outcome.
And that has really affected us in a way, because when they come down here, the people down get divided.
She said the incidents forced the Electoral Commission to cancel voting in 5 cells.
We are still compiling the list, but as of now, the confirmed villages or cells where elections have been cancelled is Kachika cell, Nyakezi.
The Electoral Commission says fresh elections in the affected areas will be conducted on a later date.
But we are hopeful that we shall have a repeat of those elections when we get communication from our bosses.
Meanwhile, in Ntungamo district, LC1 elections were characterized by delayed voting, high voter turnout, and isolated incidents of tension over allegations that some candidates ferried in non-residents to influence the outcome. Although voting began peacefully across the district's 1,033 villages, disputes later emerged at polling stations in Nyamisha Cell 3 and Uruware, where residents questioned the eligibility of some voters. Security personnel intervened to restore calm, firing warning shots into the air in parts of Ntungamo municipalities' central and eastern divisions to disperse rival groups.
We have like four signatures on the slip. Some are not signed. Ballot, blank slip.
Despite the isolated disturbances, voting proceeded at most polling stations under the supervision of Electoral Commission officials and security personnel.
I'm promising them to work for them.
And now to Germany, where pressure is mounting on security and justice authorities as the country grapples with the question of how a radicalized extremist who was known to police as dangerous had the opportunity to launch a deadly attack on the Berlin Pride. Now, for more on this story, we're joined by Thomas Parra, correspondent with our partners DW in Berlin. Many thanks, Thomas, for joining us. Now, from these particular developments, what do we know so far about the motivation of these extremists?
The 1960s.
We are recording an attack during the Pride celebrations. A man, a 21-year-old, actually drove a vehicle into the crowd, then allegedly attacked passers-by also with a knife. And one woman died, nearly 30 were injured, many still in hospital, and this has left obviously a community, a city, the country in shock. And in shock because one of the big questions that is being asked now is why didn't authorities prevent this from happening? Because they knew the main suspect very well. They had followed the main suspect very well. They knew he was radicalized. He had a criminal record. He had tried to join the so-called Islamic State. So the question is, why didn't authorities do more to actually stop him? There are many answers to that. There's a big discussion going on here in the country. There's a big debate that will also probably continue. But this is the state of affairs now. This is what people are discussing. This is where people want answers specifically from the government.
From you, what are the changes that perhaps the authorities are thinking of, or planning to do, especially after this attack?
Well, one of the things that's probably most shocking for many here in Germany is the fact that despite the fact that that authorities knew that this man, a 21-year-old German with Lebanese roots, was dangerous, and the fact that he could have they could have prevented that, they didn't put him in prison. He was free. He was obviously under surveillance, but he was free after he returned from Germany after trying to join the so-called Islamic State. So one of the main areas that authorities are discussing is precisely in keeping these people who they believe are potentially dangerous in so-called preventive detention. Another discussion, another element that could happen, that could change here in Germany, is using more electronic ankle tags for those that are deemed to be potentially dangerous. And it's important here to note that according to authorities, there are around 400 of these people here in Germany that are considered to be potentially dangerous. Authorities believe they could carry out an attack any time. So that's why this is a debate that goes beyond just one person and that goes beyond just this attack at the weekend.
Well, lastly, Thomas, of course, the conversation is how is this debate going to affect perhaps the German government politically, of course?
It could affect the German government, and that's the reason why the German government is also presenting these different proposals. Because you may know, I think we've discussed it here in the program before, there are some regional elections coming up in Germany in the coming weeks, in September. These are regional elections that are very important because one of the parties that is actually leading, the party that is leading the polls there is the far-right party Alternative for Germany. And they have campaigned for a very long time, specifically against migration, specifically specifically for tighter rules on security. So they could definitely benefit from this debate, as more and more Germans actually say something needs to happen, something needs to be done to prevent these attacks from happening. So this is a debate that could very definitely give a boost to the AfD, and that could very definitely also affect the German government. But this is something that we will have to see also in the next few weeks as the debate develops and as the German government puts into practice all these different proposals that are being discussed.
Many thanks, Thomas Sparrow, for joining us this afternoon. Thomas Sparrow from the DW. Now, more than 1,000 vendors at Kabundere Market in Fort Portal City have been temporarily relocated to allow major market upgrades. The exercise, directed by the local government minister, Balam Bargahara, includes demolition of old structures, construction of a modern public toilet, ground grading and improved sanitation. Authorities say the works will create a cleaner, safer and more organized trading environment. We're joined by Julius Navmanya, our reporter who is in Fort Portal. Julius, a very good afternoon. First, we want to understand this particular development, how it will affect those that have been dealing with Kabundere Market, but also in terms of funding, do we have enough funding for this project?
Thank you so much. That is the question I want to pose to the division clerk here with me. But for our viewers to understand what we are talking about, this is the side Kabundere Market here. You see it has been demolished. I hear on orders of the Minister for Local Government. I can't say much when I have the man himself here with me. You are welcome, sir. We are live on NBS. How did we come to this situation? Do you have enough funds to construct, organize this market? And what have you been waiting for all along? Over 10 years, over 1,000 vendors have been struggling here in this very market.
My name is Ruwela Majiran, the Division Town Clerk of Fort Portal Central Division. After the directive and the intervention of the Minister, for me, I'm just only 3 weeks old here. And then my boss, the Town Clerk, Mr. Nyamugo, is just only 1 week old here. So we are trying to look at the controversy and try to get it as an emergency. The city authorities, led by Reverend and the division executive, led by Mr. Joram Bintamanya, the mayor of the division, are working closely to sort out the emergency. We are now looking at, this has not already been planned before, but we are sitting every day to see that all our people get the good service. We are looking at building a new toilet here, a new public toilet, because that one has not been used by the ladies because of the many infections that attack women than men. Then we are looking at trying to grade and put the maram and reorganize the place, have at least drainage channels to the area. As you can see it needs a lot of backfill to the place. And we see that our hygiene and organization of the stalls are very clear. Government has already provided another market in Kachireta market, but we cannot take them there because the contractor has not yet finished. But when you look at this road, is also an Unsmid road. It is also something bad can bring a good thing, because we couldn't remove the market vendors for an Unsmid road to such that we gazette the meters of an Unsmid road. So many activities are taking place here, but we need to plan. We need to have a very detailed plan and see that the emergency, we are going to work on the emergency. Even today we have a meeting.
As we summarize, do you have enough funds for this?
Of course, we don't have enough funds. That's why we were calling upon all other people. But for the emergency funds, we are looking and squeezing the budget, because the emergency does not know whether you have funds or not. We are now going to look at the budget that we have. So far in 3 weeks, we have collected over 600 million in 3 weeks. But the 600 million also has other things to do. But at least we have property. We had budgeted for buying a grader, but this one now is emergency.
Okay, thank you so much. I think for now we shall stop here. We have the detailed report of this very story in our subsequent reports. We shall have the full story in Amasengeje. We want also to take our viewers to where all vendors who have been here, where they are at the moment. So the detailed report for this very story will be in Amasengeje today and live at 9. For now, I return to you at the Political Command Center. I remain here, Sir Julius Navmanya Akiki from Fort Portal.
Oh, thank you so much, Julius Navimanya. Of course, that is a story whose details will also be coming up in our subsequent bulletins. But a reminder as we go into a short break of what is happening across our other platforms. Follow the proceedings of the
This is not just a run. This is a movement with purpose. Join us on 30th August 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the Cancer Run 2026. Starting at 6 a.m. Also taking place simultaneously in other districts across Uganda for the completion of the One-Stop Cancer Center at Nsambya Hospitals. Registration is only 30,000 Ugandan shillings online using Gonza Pay. Kits are available at all Centenary Bank branches, Capital Shoppers outlets, Bread House branches, the Cancer Run office on Zimwa Road, Muyenga, the Rotary Uganda office at Nick Building, and Rotary clubs across the country. The Rotary Cancer Run 2026 is organized in partnership with the Parliament of Uganda, Centenary Bank, Crystal Water, and Next Media Group.
Kusako Khalifa Agalaga Nanyiringato Nanyirikaviri Nanyinyimba Chameleon wa generation eno Munasanga festival muchibira nkobe pirabiri mukaga Nasanga Muaga sikube pirabiri mukaga Elweza Forest Resort Jango Boot Edition Jango Ngayamba Denga Tuya Aganaga Eno festival ya fefena Kwingene mitwale biri Epe mitwale tano Walwe meze ya kakade Kukatane milioni satu Ne ababende milioni tano Abano kwingene kubitano Abasegenre mutualo Aberekedwa kabayimbi bona Niba comedians Munasanga festival muchibira Forest Resort Elweza Luboaga City.
The parent is Tuliahemwa Dixon. And the child is Ani Tuliahemwa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa muchisha ngo ishe watu yahemwa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana amashemero magonka MTN momo eberewo mbeni nyegasta igana kaga ni 5 sta munana 0 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo muchisheri zagwije wanje ninga nchaka ni kubasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga
Festival ya King Saha King Saha fuze songa King Saha fuze King Saha Katana lumisiza Kololo Mutondeke Kololo Festival Gakumina nyanga sinko mepirabiri mukaga Yonebe Kololo Airstrip Okinge mtuale bidi Yepe mitwale tano Emeze ya mkande musatu Waluoina yobu tano King Saha beko wale Yuka TV, NBS TV, NBS Music, Yuga Tunes, Capital FM Uganda, the Beat Farmer.
Billions are invested. Promises are made. Projects are launched. But what happens after the ribbon is cut? Are public fans delivering results? Are communities seeing the impact? Every Sunday, NBS Television follows the money, audits the promises, and examines the projects shaping Uganda with facts, evidence, and voices from the ground. Fixing Uganda, auditing progress, demanding accountability. Every Sunday, only on NBS Television.
This night is going to be from here up to here. In other words, prepare for celebration. Hallelujah! That is the character of the day. Rejoicing, being glad, hallelujah. And let me tell you, it is not going to take rocket science.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
Welcome back. You are watching NBS Live at 1 with me, Tracy Kansime. Uganda is set to participate in the 2026 Comoros Cultural Celebrations and Festival with a 16-member delegation to showcase the country's cultural heritage. The October 12th to 18th event will bring together participants from across Africa through music, dance, fashion, and exhibitions. Despite funding and logistical challenges, the team says preparations are underway to ensure Uganda is represented at the Continental Festival.
Uganda has been invited by a country called Comoros. Uganda is invited to represent in culture, and we have been identified to be the leaders who are going to take the cultural teams from Uganda to Comoros. We are going also to teach. We have an opportunity to present, to give out our submission on why it is important to promote culture, because when we promote culture, we shall not have people who go wrong by doing wrong betting, who do alcoholism, people who are doing rape and murder. There is a lot that we are going to preserve if we promote culture. But also we want to see how we get culture and add modernity, add the digital, and we see how we combine the two. Because people, for instance, in our villages in Ankole, who do ebyevugo, who do ebitaguro, most of them are deep in villages. They don't have even phones. Even if we want to give him a deal, they don't have contacts where you can access them. Yet they can be modified. If we go to Comoros, we are going to meet different countries that we do now what we call rapport or relationship, networking, that if there is any other opportunity, it is now going to be easier for Uganda to be included in those than previously. But also, we are going to see how this flag is going to be put up. Uganda flag agenda. They are giving us free access to submission, but they are not giving us air tickets to transport our 16 members who are supposed to perform. So we are coming now to ask for support, how we can make sure these people get passport, then how we can get money to get air tickets, and also the little money to eat while we are going.
We are going to market the country's potential. One of our greatest assets we have as Uganda is our rich and diverse cultural expressions. So this is very, very important. In that conference, mainly we also do what they call filming and documentary. All these expressions are going to be filmed at a global level and presented all over the world.
Now, in foreign news, Russia's Federal Security Service has charged Telegram founder Pavel Durov with facilitating terrorist activities, accusing the messaging platform of failing to remove content allegedly used by Ukrainian intelligence and extremist groups to coordinate sabotage, terrorism and cybercrime inside Russia. The FSB says an international arrest warrant has been issued for Durov, and Telegram has not formally responded, although its official X account posted an image of Durov making an obscene gesture shortly after the announcement. Durov, who holds Emirati and French citizenship, has consistently denied wrongdoing and has defended Telegram's commitment to privacy and free speech. The encrypted messaging platform, which has more than 1 billion users worldwide, remains widely used by governments, media and civilians, including both sides in Russia and Ukraine. The charges come as French authorities continue a separate investigation into allegations that Telegram failed to adequately tackle criminal activity and cooperate with law enforcement requests. Durov's current whereabouts remain unclear. That particular story brings us to the end of NBS Live at 1. For more on these stories, do join us in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Tracy Kansime. Up next is Lunchtime Sport with Fifi Pinky and Stuart. Do stay with us.
NBS. Always.
ajja kubafuna naye amakati gagenda kulabika nga lwe gabadde kubajjukira twali twogera ku makati gaba Diego Semugera nga babadde basamba then Hassan Mubiru abadde ayina engeri gyabalabisizaamu going forward, so ebintu bigenda kukyukamuuko in one or the other. Ne ekigenda okubanga ate kireetamu oba oliawo ku vibe eze endala kwe kugamba nti
is back big and better, and kulundu gojukira nti proceeds twanga lokwanga sentes na vaid na tudukira the Big Cancer Institute wali in Zambia. So be part of the team. So kwanga tubeda banji nyo dala starting on 30th, and NBS Sport being the official broadcaster jakwa tuwa olichime chikena maso, but already abantu batansogula kiti zabe you make your sort of funa kiti gonza pay agenda ku Swika Central Insurance Company wamgana mukuru mwingo osoro genda ku Nick osoro genda ku Bed Houses anewara wanye osoro kwanga funa kiti okwetegekera the big run egenda okwanga ebeerawo ku mulundi guno but for bannaffe twagala okubaza buli omu asobola okwanga akoze kyakola but wetwogera kakati MTN yo kyekoze oluvannyuma lw'ebyo twogera kakati bapanelists bapanelists abagenda tunabe bati bamaze okubanga babafulumya kati gwe eyafulumya design yo eyakola buli kimu kiwasobola okwanguleeta
NBS live egamba kyekiriyo parliament in committee anti gyowulirizako sase
bangambe akabasa akatokota
ndabye kajansi tolo nga nayo kweri neŋŋamba kyekyo kino naye byonna obijja ku NBS that is when cut meet the judges Ian Chiriyo is a judge. Martin Sebuliba abadde alina okubaako.
Martin mukama wange.
Sebuliba abadde alina okubaako. Sebulime Musa. Atagenda.
Oyo wa mupiira.
Chris Ogoni atukwasize. Kansubire si yono wakatuni. Waliwo atera okubaako. Eric Mununuzi, Natasha Karungi, ne Dr. Nsereko Joseph Raymond. Abamu ba design abamu bonna kwebali. MTN nga baga free of fire.
Aya basi.
Ke kaseera okumanya who is who. Ani
ati bagenda kati mugonti bagenda kweggalira
batule
kati
bajja kacha
oyagala ki
ng'obwongo buli wamu
kimero oyagala ki tinjala fulme kino ate fifi oyagala kyokola design z'okuzimala okukimalayo nti neetaaga kikubanga libasika ekinga batuweereza kati twagala wali wennyini bagambe nti Musa wagula ku mujoozo olaba otya atagenda ndabye kino agwali mu commercial olaba otya. I think the other thing that attractive net mubuzeemu kano kati awe tudda kale nga twogera ku ebyo n'ebira bingi nnyo the big FUFA Super M10 FUFA Super 8 is back and agenda kubeera ku the beautiful Ham Stadium ewa Alhaji Dr. Hamis Chigundu gye bagenda maaso okwazanya ne balina task I'm telling you
bani abalina task
nikambategeeze
abagenda
okuzanyirayo you have a big task nti bwogerageranya empaka eza Arms Cup vis-a-vis ne team zaffe wabadde obunafu ku team zaffe
TikTok ebadde ekisaawe kikubako
ogatta tiimu bbiri wano
kumbucha ekisaawe kibadde kikubako
ogatta tiimu bbiri
abaguzi ba Manu babadde ekisaawe kikubako abaguzi ba Arsenal sanyudi bugs nga baleeta abantu nga transporters kati abaliigi bajje bakanule
anti oli abuuza what stops Chitara from moving around the town what stops KCCA kwa abaana okyembalabi basooka ne bakyankalanya ekibuga
mobilization
ne bayingira tutunulira tiimu nga bezigenda kwasinolidwa oyogenda ku tiimu ya KCCA waliwo abavuddewo twogera ku goalkeeping department simanyi aliwo vis-a-vis avuddewo he had a lot of experience
Charles Lukwago
then agenda okudda ku tiimu ya KCCA ku mulundi guno abayinza okudda waawo after Charles Lukwago.
By the way, comment yamu gye nawulira ennyo season ewedde what I've not yet discussed with my young brother Brian Senyondo yali about goalkeeping Charles Lukwago we yafiirwa then we agenda tuza mukomawo after compassionate leave ne wabaawo instability mwanyinaze n'ateeyongerayo era ne bazanyisanga mugoloofa oyo atwala obudde bungi ng'ayomba gola agimanyi naye he switches off all the time waliwo emipiira eminene gyemmanyi nadda mu kuboggolera banne neyeerabira the work at hand genda onoonye geemu yabwe nga bazanya Vipers gitunuulire ogenda olabe geemu yali ya Kitara omupiira Shabani oyo gwe yeekoleramu obusolosolo omupiira Serunjoji gwe yabakuba omukwaju ne gugenda mu katimba obojjukira mulimu lapses so ndowooza y'ensonga lwaki basazeewo neyo bakole kibatunuleyoko nategeddeko Peter Magambo Mayanja be bamu kubalabika nti tiimu tebagenda kugibeeramu I think in the coming season okusinziira ku luvuuvumo olw'amaanyi oluliwo though confirmations ezimu tezinnajja naye oba omanyi bw'oba oli munnamawulire ng'onoonyereza kitegeeza nti Brian alina shape gy'ayagalamu ku tiimu ye era abavubuka abavudde ku Kitara ne bagezaako okubanga bajja abagenda feeling gaps because for KCCA what do they demand they demand for a trophy buli wekibaawo kigaana bugaanyi buli kimu bakirina KCCA ina ability eteeka abaana mu kampu mu kaseera kano badde batataganyizibwa naddala licensing committee kye yabagamba mukulu mugera kye ne Jeremiah ne committee yabaga nti ekisaawe naye kakati bo taafu bagimanyi and taafu gye bajjako ku Hamzi Stadium is certified by FIFA is certified by FIFA by virtue of what is happening esinga ku yaabwe wadde nabo banaateekamu kati abo ba competing favorably kitegeeza bajja ku kisaawe kye bakola ki kye bamanyi obulungi eriyo bannaffe abalabulu ekisa gundi artificial turf egimanyi ekuwe bagakawo gye badde ezanyira then teams n'endala nze nga nti abasambi tebeesingako kinene it is just mundabirira bulo ekigendo bateekamu amaanyi bonus nenkwe bato so for isabirye
UPPC mubana ba debutants badeti bazanya nko mpaka zo
UPPC they have Zabu mu Abdallah Mubiru oyo Zabu he's a coach who is patient, he's a coach who understands the player.
We have so many books. Which one are you on?
There are so many, even financial.
This one?
Yes, go ahead.
So when you go to note 20,
okay,
you'll find that the last batch, you'll find that accrued interest is 2.9. Interest received is 2.5. Do you see it?
Yeah, we've seen it.
But again, on note 5, you say interest income is 2.8. So, accrued interest and interest income, that is on note 20 and note 5. Maybe you give an explanation.
Yes, MD.
Okay.
And your team?
Let me get on the first one you raised, which was the dividends from fund managers. Last year, in 2025, what we did was we reduced allocations to fund managers because we now brought a lot of the investments in equity in-house. So the stock of equities they used to hold, especially they were from Kenya, dealing with the Kenya Stock Exchange, reduced, and that's why the dividends from them for that year also came down, because we reduced the stock they were holding. In fact, they had to transfer them back to us, some of the shares that they were holding in their portfolio. That explained why the dividends from fund managers went down compared to the year before. Then we go to this other one here.
Chair. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. Back to the dormant accounts. I think it's prudent enough to, while registering with the NSSF, members always indicate the beneficiaries. So having a dormant account may mean, for some time, it may mean the member no longer exists, but they are beneficiaries during the time of registration. I feel it's beneficial to community if you at the time of publishing, you indicate even the beneficiaries so that they can say, oh, me, I belong to so and so, it no longer exists, and they approach the facility for benefits. Then I've seen that you increase some interest rate on observers from 12 to 13. That is very good. Don't you think, if possible, if it is sustainable, don't you think if you added the one to make it 14%, it can be an incentive to attract many savers like these MPs and others than loaning to a facility where you are not sure of recovery? Thank you.
MD, your response to that?
I will, okay. And I think there's something in finance that you don't do. You can't promise future. Okay. It's not even allowed professionally. Would want to do that. I wish I could tell you we're going to do this. I think it would be, but even at 13.5%, our members were very happy. Our members were really extremely happy, and it showed in how much more they trusted us in terms of sending more money for us to keep for them. Our Smart Life, which now competes favorably with the unit trusts, like I said, has attracted 106,000 members. And over the last, basically, you're looking at maybe 14 months, 16 months, 174 billion shillings they've saved with them. So yeah, we try to give the members the best we can. And we hope, hopefully, as the future goes and the environment is fine, yeah, we'll go to that 14% or 15%, whatever it is that we can do. But we can't foretell that future.
Honorable Sabamala,
Thank you, Honorable Sebamala, an ex-official.
Members, Honorable Savamala is not a member of the committee. The rules allows us to admit any member for purpose of any discussion, same for voting.
Yes. And
do we admit him? Yes, the ayes have it. Proceed.
And I'm sorry for the dress code. I talked to the chairperson about it. I have 2 questions, or 3. One, I want to know how many of your savers can afford your investment in Temangalo. And is it Lubowa? Is it?
Yes.
Yes, how many of your savers have? Because I've seen ghost houses there with no people. But then you have 1.5 million people that are saving. How can you get our money when we cannot afford?
With the ghost houses, you mean empty houses?
Empty houses.
But already constructed.
Because in the construction in Lubowa, I think only around 5 or 6 are taken. I don't know. No. Okay, that is for you to answer. The other is...
No. Let's get to the facts. How many completed houses do we have in Lubowa?
306.
306.
And 8, as of yesterday, are the only ones remaining. 8.
Remaining for completion or
for sale?
For sale.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay. How about Temangalo?
Temangalo, we have not begun selling yet. We are going to have close to 500 homes.
There's also another small question I want to ask.
Yeah.
Do you have the title for pension house?
Yes, we do.
How about the one of workers' house?
Yes, we do.
Can you, through your chair, can they avail
maybe among
those
the documents,
titles?
you also avail title copies of those properties?
Not copies, originals, because there is an issue on that.
Let them avail copies, then originals we can only inspect. In their,
just come with them, then we shall see them.
Yeah, and we can send our copies for verification.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. There was I think you had another question, or you okay?
The other question was about the infrastructure bonds.
About houses. I just wanted to ask a bit about houses.
Please respond.
Within the real estate area portfolio, we've got different level to cater for different demographics who are our members. Temangalo is going to be one of the most affordable. I can't tell you what the price right now is, supposedly, because that will be precluding whatever. But when you hear that price, you'll be a happy man, because that was specially made to target affordable. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. I have to adjourn this meeting.
Okay,
Chair.
Chair.
Thank you.
One last question.
The questions cannot get done today.
Allow me one, Mr. Chair.
I think we have requested for the NSSF to submit some documents, at least by Friday.
Chair, this
we
is
also
just a
intend
clarification
to inspect. Sir, please order. I also intend to inspect. We intend as a committee to inspect some projects, to do oversight on them. We shall communicate the dates.
Thank you.
And from our findings and from the responses, we shall choose as and when to have a further interface with you over the same. For now, I want to thank you for coming and attending to this invitation. Meeting adjourned. For the next 20 minutes, you can have a lunch break. And after 20 minutes, let's come back for our second entity of the day, Nita, Uganda. Nita, you.
Television on Saturday, 29th August 2026 at Imperial Royale Hotel with a lineup of